Please go through these two pictures. You can see left picture where they are struggling to balance the wooden piece. Whereas if you see the right side picture, the weight on the left, right, front, back all equal. Now I think they have balanced the situation. So which topic we are going to discuss today? By seeing the right picture, I think you have concluded that today we are going to discuss and we are going to understand and we are going to start the such a chapter where in the life it's it's very important. We have to balance sometimes some situations in life. We have to take such a decision so that life is in equilibrium. So I think I have made myself very clear. Today we are going to understand last chapter of this academic year and the last chapter of the first part, that is chemical equilibrium. So my dear friends, good day to one and all. I welcome you all for the today's session on chemical equilibrium. He is the most important scientist of this chapter. Who is he? We will discuss later. By understanding his principle, we will come to know who is this most famous scientist of chemical equilibrium. Okay, and one small caption about this chapter. Before we go to this caption, I give two important examples. Example number one: box is there on the left side. You apply force, and on the right side you apply force equal to how much you applied on the right side. So on both sides you are applying same force. Box will not move. That means box is in the equilibrium. This equilibrium is called as what? Static equilibrium. Whereas in the second example, container is full of water. Now you have to make such an arrangement. On the top of the container, you make one tap such a way that it trickles down drop by drop. Water falls into the bucket dropwise, only dropwise. After in between short time interval is there, break is there. One drop, after some time, second drop. So after a definite time interval, drop falls into the beaker. At the same time, you make one more arrangement to the container where at the bottom you make one small hole so that only one drop comes out. So when you make such an arrangement, whenever a drop falls into the bucket from the top, same one drop will come out at the bottom. That means the tap on the bucket or the container wants to fill the bucket, whereas the tap, that the hole at the bottom, wants to empty that bucket dropwise. So both are happening at a time. Drop falls, drop goes out. That means here the process is very much active. Filling, emptying, filling, emptying, filling from top, empty, that too one drop only. Okay, the amount of water in the bucket is same. So this equilibrium is called as what? Which equilibrium where the process on the top and the process at the bottom both are happening. Okay, but the amount of water is same. Very active equilibrium. And for this active equilibrium, we call it as what? Dynamic equilibrium. Okay, so there are two types of equilibrium. One is a static, other one is a dynamic. Okay, but in chemistry, we learn about what? Dynamic equilibrium only. Okay, right. Now we will understand this caption. The best thing about learning about equilibrium is that nothing changes. Ah. So this chemical equilibrium is applicable only for those reactions which are reversible in nature. In chemistry, we see we take reactants and they react and give the products, and reaction goes to the completion. 100% products are formed, then we will take out. It is okay. It is in most of the cases. But in some cases in chemistry where reactants will react in the beginning and forms and converts into products, after some time products wants to decompose into reactants. Again reactants will react and give the, so this will continue. Reactants giving the products and products decomposing or giving back reactants. So this will continue. So that means what? Rate of forward reaction, speed of forward reaction, converting reactants into products. That rate becomes equal to the rate of reverse reaction, where products are converting into the reactant. This will become equal. It will be happening at the macroscopic level or the molecular level. From outside, it looks like this is stopped. No, at the microscopic level, it is happening where reactants are converted to the product and product are converted to the reactant. Okay, and that equilibrium is called what? Dynamic equilibrium, and that we learn in the chemistry in this chapter. Okay, right? So we don't worry about the static equilibrium, we worry about the dynamic equilibrium, and this equilibrium is applicable for those reactions which are reversible in nature. Irreversible reaction is what? Reaction goes to completion. So for such reactions, this chapter will not be applicable. This chapter is applicable only for reversible in nature. Their examples are few, but are there in chemistry. Okay, right. Now, with respect to the chemical equilibrium, there are two types. Okay, one is a physical equilibrium, other one is a chemical equilibrium. In the physical equilibrium, we worry about the phase transformation, state transformation, state changing, solid becoming the liquid, liquid becoming the gas, or gas becoming the solid. So only state is changing. Only from outside appearance we can see the state changes. Okay, those all come under the physical equilibrium. Whereas when the reactants, chemicals are involved, that time those examples come under the chemical equilibrium. Okay, only state change, physical equilibrium, property change, chemical equilibrium. Now today we learn about the physical equilibrium. Okay, so this is for the 11th class. We have only three types of physical equilibrium. The most famous examples of physical equilibrium is the phase transformation process. Among the many, only three we have to learn. One is solid liquid equilibrium, liquid gas equilibrium, and solid gas physical equilibrium. First is what? First is solid liquid equilibrium. Okay, for this I will explain one situation. Take a glass of water. In that you go on adding pinch by pinch salt. Okay, in the beginning salt dissolves. As you increase the number of pinch salt adding to the water, a time will come, a stage will come where your extra addition of that pinch of salt you are adding, whether it is salt or sugar, that will remain undissolved. That stage is called as what? Now it has reached the saturation level, saturation stage. That time, small amount of salt remains undissolved. But if you see at the microscopic level, that salt is dissolving into the solution, and again it is coming back. It is precipitating back. It is converting into again solid, again going to solution, again coming back. So that is there at the molecular level. That stage is called what? Just now I told, dynamic equilibrium at the molecular level between the solid and the liquid, or liquid and the solid. This is called what? Solid liquid equilibrium. This is what? Liquid gas or the liquid vapor equilibrium. Okay, so but this you have to carry out in the closed container. If it is open, it will escape. You expect equilibrium when you carry out in closed container. Okay, so for the closed system, equilibrium is applicable. So when you take water in the closed container, it starts evaporating. Okay, so in the beginning, rate of evaporation is more. As more and more water evaporates, a time comes where amount of water vapor becomes more in the container. Then it will convert itself into water liquid. That means that time rate of evaporation decreases and rate of condensation increases. So after some time, rate of evaporation decreases. Sorry, rate of condensation decreases. Again, rate of evaporation starts. So this will continue. At a stage will come where rate of evaporation becomes equal to the rate of condensation. That time, that stage is called as what? Dynamic equilibrium between the liquid and its vapor. Okay, that time, how much pressure is there due to the vapor or the gas in the closed container? That pressure is called what? pressure of that vapor or pressure of that liquid. So that is known as what? Vapor pressure. So vapor pressure means what? First you keep the liquid in the closed container. It converts into the vapor or the gas. A time will come where it will the equilibrium. That time how much vapor is there, its pressure is there. That is called vapor pressure of that liquid or that vapor. Okay, right. That you can measure by fixing one parameter to the container. So here you take in the container, okay, fix in the one pressure meter. Okay, in the beginning rate of evaporation is more. Then again after some time rate of condensation, when they're equal, some amount of pressure is there. That is shown here by movement of the mercury. So how much is there? That you measure it. That is called pressure of the gas, or it is called vapor pressure. Okay, right. Solid vapor equilibrium. This is applicable for what? Substances or the chemicals which show sublimation. So in the beginning, it is more, and after some time that will convert into the solid. So this keep changing. Here it is what? In the dynamic equilibrium. Okay, right. Now we go to what? One more small topic, that is physical equilibrium involving dissolution of solids and gases in the liquids. Okay, solid in the liquid, gas in the liquid. Already we learnt solid in the liquid. Okay, this is also called as what? Rate of dissolution is equal to rate of precipitation. That time when both are equal, that is called solid solution equilibrium. Okay, right. Now second is what? Gas in liquid. So some amount of gas dissolves in the liquid, and after some time, whatever dissolved gas is there, that want to come out in the closed container. This happens in where? When the carbon dioxide dissolves in the soda water. At the microscopic level, what carbon dioxide dissolves in the water, and water gives out some amount of carbon dioxide. So that is in the dynamic equilibrium. So how much amount of CO2 or the gas dissolves in the water, that you can come to know from a famous law known as what? Henry's law, that we are not learning this year. We are learning Henry's law under this category in the 12th class. Okay, right. Now, there are some general characteristics of equilibria involving physical processes. Equilibria is a plural form of equilibrium. Equilibrium is only possible only in the closed system at a given temperature. This is the important characteristic. Okay. Now, second is what? Both the opposing processes occur at the same rate, and there is a dynamic but stable condition. This I told already. When equilibrium is attained for a physical process, it is characterized by constant value of one of its parameters at a given temperature. The magnitude of such quantities at any stage indicates the extent to which the physical process has proceeded before reaching equilibrium. That means we will come to know in the case of solid liquid how much has dissolved. Okay, that certain value you will come to know when we attain the equilibrium, that you want to convey here. Okay, right. So consider this example. Now, till now we discussed about what? Physical equilibrium. Now we'll go to what? Main part, chemical equilibrium. Physical equilibrium is a very hardly 1 or 2%. Now main main topics in this chemical equilibrium are about what? Chemical equilibrium only. Okay, right. So equilibrium, physical equilibrium, very little, small, less you have to learn about more. What we learn about the chemical equilibrium, where reactants are converting into the products. So here first we'll discuss about the general example where A and B are the reactants. So in the beginning, reaction still not started. When the reaction starts, A and B start reacting and use C and D. More and more C and D forms. Rate of forward reaction, speed of forward reaction is more here. After some time, C and D will react and gives A and B. Okay. Again, this is called rate of reverse reaction. Okay. Again, AB giving CD, CD giving AB, and time will come where rate of forward reaction becomes equal to the rate of reverse reaction. That time it is called dynamic equilibrium. So now further change in the concentration of the reactants and the product stops. In the beginning, this will decrease in the concentration. Why they are reacting? So increase in the concentration of the C and D because they are forming the. But after some time, there is no change in the concentration. Concentration remains same. That stage is called as what? Chemical equilibrium, which is dynamic in nature. And these are very few examples are there told. Here are the examples. So where they attain the chemical equilibrium. And this is about the dynamic nature. Already I explained. Graphically, we can understand chemical equilibrium, concentration versus time. In the beginning, reactants are some amount. I have taken some amount up here on this graph. Some amount of reactants are there. As the time passes, concentration of the reactants start decreasing as the time passes. At the same time, what happens? See, some amounts of products are formed. Okay, as the time, see, at this time, some products were zero in the beginning, but as the time passes, some are formed, and again decrease or formed. A time comes at a particular time where rate of forward becomes equal to the rate of reverse. That stage is called what? Equilibrium stage or equilibrium state, which is dynamic in nature. So example is what? Nitrogen reacting with hydrogen giving the ammonia. This is general graph. This is the actual graph. Okay. So in the beginning, see the concentration start decreasing as the time passes. At the same time, this has because both are reacting, so their concentration decreases. But what about the ammonia? Ammonia was zero in the beginning, slowly increases. A time comes where there is no change in the concentration of the nitrogen, hydrogen, and the ammonia. It is constant. Whether time go, whether it becomes after 1 or 2, why they have reached the equilibrium. That time there is no change. The whatever how much amount is left, that remains. No further increase or decrease in the concentration of the reactants or the products. That is called what? Chemical equilibrium. Same case with what? Hydrogen reacting hydrogen iodine giving hydrogen iodide, or hydrogen iodide decomposing giving the hydrogen and the iodine. Okay. So today what we studied, what is meant by chemical equilibrium or what is meant by equilibrium. In that physical and chemical, less about physical, less about the physical, more about the chemical. And in the tomorrow's or next session, we learn only about the chemical equilibrium. Till then, have a nice time. Thank you.